straight. We honor it with each breath we take. One heart, one mind, one power. In the name of love. In the name of love. You build the bridges, I'll tear down the walls. We'll make a world that works for all. One heart, one mind, one power. In the name of love. In the name of love. In the name of love, there is the truth behind the life we live. Nothing hides the light we shine when we're standing side by side. One heart, one mind, one power. In the name of love. Every face is the face of love. Every voice is the voice of love. Every name is the name of love. We all come from a place of love. One heart, one mind, one power. One heart, one mind, one power. One heart, one mind, one power. In the name of love. One power. In the name of love. One power. In the name of love.
I love myself and I know that I am good. The light in my heart, it's my livelihood. I learn from my mistakes and I do what's right. I see you and I honor your light. We are one. I love strong. I have no worries. No one can take that away. I am honest. I live my truth, and no one can take that away. I love my family and they have my back. Brothers, sisters, remove your mask. They say chivalry is dead, I say it's hibernating. Wake your sleeping heart. Life is yours for the taking. We are one. I love strong. I have no worries. No one can take that away. I am honest. I live my truth. And no one can take that away. Life's not a mystery. Love's all we need. Time is short and sweet. Enjoy the little things. Life's not a mystery. Love is all we need. Time is short and sweet. Enjoy the little things. I love strong. I have no worries. No one can take that away. I am honest. I live my truth. And no one can take that away. I love strong. I have no worries. No one can take that away. I am honest. I live my truth. And no one can take that away. Take it away.
She said, Grandpa, how'd you get this far? Life's been so hard. I got so many scars. He said, simple. Someday you'll see. It's not what you have, it's what you no longer need. The letting go, that's the key. The letting go will set you free. The tighter you hold on, the harder it.
Good morning, everybody. We're so excited to be with you, coming live from Columbine Spiritual Center right here in Boulder County. Whether you're joining us in the sanctuary or you are in the comfort of your own home, we have a great Sunday in store for you, talking about challenge. And we're going to introduce you now to Micaiah Rain. Ow!
Love opens up the gate, guides us on our way.
day and guides us on our way, illuminates the path we are to walk. Love will lift us high. Precious love we hold in the center of our soul. My love embraces you long after we have said our goodbyes, and I'll be with you. I will be with you. I will be with you always, and I'll be with you. I will be with you. I will be with you. Satnam, I am truth. Help me sing.
Makesha Rain, everybody. We'll hear lots more from her later today. And for now, we say good morning and welcome to Columbine Spiritual Center. We're centered in God. We celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. Please jump up out of those seats and join us as we claim our blessing.
2, 3.
I claim a blessing. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start the day, knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I lift my thoughts to higher ground, knowing miracles are all around. Each day unfolds just as it should. When I'm focusing on my good, in the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. Yeah, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Ooh, I claim a blessing. Ooh, I claim a blessing. Ooh, I claim a blessing. One more time, say. Ooh, I claim a blessing. Ow! Thank you so much, everybody. Let's bring those kids can stay standing because we're going to bless these young ones.
These youngins.
Let's welcome Jeannie Oliver, director of our YFM program.
So they're just following what needs to happen here. So good morning. They're just coming right on up with me, which is really fun. So yeah, we're excited to be here today. And here comes more. They're just coming on in. So So today we're going to talk about masks. Sometimes the masks that we wear and who we might really want to be and who we really are and all that kind of thing. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a whole bunch of other things, and we're going to celebrate birthdays for October. So a little bit of ice cream, it's important. So anyways, all right. So anyone else that's out there can follow us, and we'll head right on down.
Let's bless them.
Thank you.
We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we see the Christ you are. Have a great Sunday. This is from Daniel Nahmod with a brand new album out this week. Love is my decision. Up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. Let's take it up. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. Once I decide, and once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. Let's take it. Love is my decision. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. My decision last time. My decision right here and now. Yes, you sound and look fabulous. And go ahead and take a seat. We're going to slow down our breathing. Connect with the floor, connect with our hearts, connect with our core. Spirit, be the center, be my source, be my light, Spirit. Spirit, be my vision, be my path, be my guide, Spirit.
As we begin to pray, let us settle into our chairs, take a few deep breaths, let the cares of the last week just fade away. Hello, Source God, Divine Love. We say hello to you in our hearts so that we can reconnect to our true selves, the loving, living Christ that resides in us. Give us the strength to not only accept our challenges, but to see them in the light of what truly is. Let inspiration, creativity, and faith guide us and give us the zeal we need to move forward. Help us, Source God, to see that challenges can be a gift to ourselves or to someone else. As we go through our daily lives, let us be, quote, living life awake. When we see things in a new way, it opens our hearts to more and better possibilities. Source is love. Perhaps we are all tiny fractals of Source, all 8 billion of us. So we zip around in our own orbits, our own worlds, our own challenges, and yet we are all a part of Source love. We come from Source, so we are not alone. We recognize and have love of others. With the divine love, let us also remember that universal love is the highest form of energy. Right below it is mild amusement energy. If we can remember and see that in our daily lives, maybe we will also recognize the miracles in our lives and feel them and live them. So blessings be to this community and all billions of us too. Why not? We send healing love to all on our prayer list, prayer box, and those so ever present in our hearts right now. With love, gratitude, and acceptance, and faith, amen. And now we will go into 2 minutes of silent prayer, and Janice will lead us out.
be the center, be my source, be my guide, Spirit, be my source, be my light, Spirit, I am the light I see in you. You are the light you see in me. We are reflections of each other, connected sisters and brothers. We are one spirit. We are one heart. We are one spirit, shining in the dark. Namaste. Sing along if you like. Namaste. Namaste. All that divides us is false. All that unites us is true. Settle into your heart. There's nothing else to do. We are one spirit. We are one heart. We are one spirit, shining in the dark. Namaste. Shining in the dark. Namaste.
Lakeisha Rain, Larry Thompson, John Stubbs. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. That was beautiful. There you are. I'll explain that a little later. There was a young man at a construction site who was bragging that he was the strongest, he could outdo anybody, he had the most energy, he just had the most endurance. And he especially was taunting this one older construction worker. And this older guy had had enough and finally said, okay, put your money where your mouth is. I will bet you a week's wages that anything I carry over to that other building in this wheelbarrow, you cannot carry back. And the younger guy said, you're on. And so the older man picked up the handles of the wheelbarrow, looked at the guy and said, all right, get in. Wisdom. Oh, I share that because our challenges taunt us, don't they? And we're looking at challenge this week. We've been working with Ann Barry Jolis's book, Grace Trail. We're on week 6 of a 7-week program. We've been following this along with the letters from the word grace. In case you're new, we have looked at gratitude. We've looked at release, at acceptance, and today we're on challenge, and next week will be embrace. So this week is challenge. Challenge is the action step. It requires us to get out of our comfort zone. It requires us to take some action, to step forward, maybe not just with our feet and hands, but in our minds. And Ann Barry Jolis says this, challenging yourself by making conscious choices will move you closer to where you want and need to be. Challenge does not have to be a tangible physical act. Challenge and change can be about attitude and perspective. So we don't always have to take action, but we have to have some movement, maybe in consciousness. It was Wednesday or Thursday, I got an email from Richard Rohr's Center for Action and Contemplation, and he was inviting anyone that wanted to be in this virtual meditation that he was going to do every Friday. Maybe some of you saw that. And so Friday at 11 o'clock, for the next 4 weeks, 4 Fridays, we're going to be doing this meditation with Richard Rohr, and he was going to do this opening. So 10 to 11, I got on, and Kevin, my husband, said he'd do it with me. And it's called Virtual Sit. And so at 11, I'm looking at all the people that are saying hello in the chat box, and they're coming from all over the world, and the numbers kept growing and growing. It was maybe 1,200 people, and we sat. And we sat. And we sat. And some people you could see like, what's going on? What's going on? Why aren't we starting? And some other people were saying, maybe this is part of the challenge. Maybe this is part of the virtual sit that we just sit, there's no presentation. We don't see Richard Rohr. Who knows what it was? So it was an invitation to be patient. People were from all over the world. And so the longer it went on, I could hear myself saying, I've got things to do. I'm important. I've got a life to get onto. I can't just sit here. And there were people that were chatting that as well. Just that. This virtual sit. At 11:50, they started. They did say we were having technical difficulties throughout the whole thing. About half the people had gotten off. But it was a beautiful example of how we feel like we are so important. And what challenge is right there? It's kind of like a reset. This morning I was 5 a.m. I'm working on my talk, and everything goes dark except my computer because it's on battery. And then all of a sudden all the lights came back on. And all the lights came back on. Like the whole house got reset, and I'm going around trying to turn everything off. We need a reset. Sometimes those challenges in our lives say, okay, let's look at this from a different perspective. Let's take a different action. Let's face this from a different perspective, from a different way of looking at things. Not always part of our plan to do that. Life is growth, and if we are here, it means we have some growth need. It's a life school. We are growing, we are learning all the time in our lives, whether we want to or not. We can look at each other with compassion that everybody is in some kind of growth need. Everyone is experiencing some kind of challenge, some kind of growth in their lives. They're learning something. And we don't always know what that is. But we expect people to be just like us, to see things our way. Whatever challenge we need, whatever lessons we need, the challenge will sometimes block that. Sometimes will be right in our way of what we want, of the next step that we want to get to. It's really hard when we know it's ours to face and we don't want to face it. We can often say, and I've heard myself say, what on earth is going on? What on earth is going on with this? Well, what on earth? We're here on earth to learn, to grow. I love the story of David and Goliath for this. David and Goliath, probably most of you are familiar with the story, that it was the battle between the Israelites and the Philistines. And they were on either side of a valley, and they all day long would fight in the valley. There would be battles in the valley between the Philistines and the Israelites, and then in the evening they would retreat and rest, and then come back the next day and fight again. Now, metaphysically, the Israelites represent truth, represent those good thoughts that we have in consciousness, those thoughts of goodness, of what's true, of what's fair, of what's compassionate, of what's loving, what's peaceful. And the Philistines represent those error thoughts, those things that are not like that. Those thoughts of bitterness, of jealousy, of hatred, of, why me? Those kinds of thoughts. And so this battle goes on. If we look at the Bible stories from a metaphysical point of view, they go on in our consciousness. That all the stories are our stories. And we often have this battle raging in consciousness between what we know is true, what we know is good, and what maybe we'd rather do, or how we'd rather behave, or what we'd rather say, because we're tempted, or we're angry, or we're something. So we have this battle going on. And then there's Goliath, who is tired of the battle and says to the Israelites, if you just have one person fight me, whoever wins the fight with me, we will be the masters. The losers will be the slaves. And Goliath, this huge guy. Who's the Goliath in your life? What challenge is in your life? We see Goliath as this challenge, this thing that's blocking us. And nobody wants to fight him because he's big and he's strong and he's scary. And so this goes on for days where Goliath is just taunting them, taunting the Israelites. Fight me, fight me. Finally, little David, his little shepherd boy, he's not even part of the battle. He's come to feed his brothers, to bring them some food, some supplies. And he's looking at this Goliath and going, why isn't anybody fighting this Goliath? Now, David represents divine love. David represents our inner potential. And we all have much more potential than we know. And David hears that if you fight Goliath and win, you get the princess. The king has offered his daughter's hand in marriage. And so David's not even looking at Goliath. He's looking at the vision beyond the challenge. What is our vision beyond the challenge? What awaits us beyond the challenge in our lives? So finally, the king agrees that he will allow David to fight Goliath. And he puts his armor on David. He says, you need all this armor, you need this metal, you need this sword. And David can't even walk with all this on. And David says, no, I can't fight this way. This isn't me. Recognize how we maybe think we need to take on this heavy armor, that we need to take on different personality types or different characteristics in order to face the challenge. But all we need really is to be our authentic selves, to use what we have. And so David takes off the armor and goes and picks up 5 smooth stones, has a slingshot. He had convinced the King Saul that I've already slain a lion and a bear from trying to get my sheep with my slingshot. And so David goes out to meet Goliath, and Goliath's laughing. You ever feel like your challenge is laughing at you? You can't do anything to me. I'm bigger and stronger than you. And he says, I will feed you to my birds. I'll feed you to the birds, David. You're a nothing. And David confidently says to Goliath, you come to me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord, the God of our being. He takes 1 stone, pulls back his slingshot, it flies to the giant, hits him in the forehead, and he's down. And David picks up his sword, cuts off his head. He cut off that part that was slave to that certain way of thinking. Now, this is the battle that goes on in our heads. When we know who we are, we stand in our own authentic selves. We can meet any challenge, but we often don't think we can. It's easier to stay safe, stay comfortable. Don't take any action. What if I fail? How many have said that? What if I fail? We see this in our own lives. And so what do those 5 stones represent? I found an article by Eric Butterworth on truthunity.net this week, and I love how he talks about these 5 stones. The first stone, and these are the things that we need in our own lives to face any challenge. The first stone is humility. Humility. So many of us feel like at times that we're inferior to other people, that we could never measure up to them. We compare ourselves. Or sometimes we feel like we're better than someone else. We know better. Either way, whether it's a superiority complex or inferiority, it's the ego speaking. It's not our true selves. There was a man who came over from Europe, and he didn't have very good English, but he was a public speaker. And he would hold the audience in his hand, and he was just so captivating. And someone asked him, what is your secret? And he said, I don't really have a secret other than instead of thinking when I get up here on the platform that I'm not this person who has all this wisdom to share. I'm not thinking, here I am, look at me, listen to me. I'm thinking, there you are. There you are. It really touched me to read that, because so often I think in my own life, I have to have something profound to say up here. I have to have something entertaining to say up here. And all I really need to do is share from my heart. There you are. There you are online. Have some humility and know that the Christ in me does the work. The Christ in you does the work. Recognize that, know that. And then we can do great things. That's our strength. That's our point of power. Having that humility to know who we really are as spiritual beings. We can face any challenge with that. Just that. That's just one stone. The next stone is self-appreciation. How many times do we not appreciate ourselves? Not see ourselves for the beautiful expressions of spirit that we are? Not celebrate our accomplishments. Every one of us has had a challenge that we've had to face in our lives. Do we appreciate that? That we did it? Just living, just being alive, just a newborn baby has to go through the birth canal. That's a challenge that they've survived that. Think about it. I mean, we all have faced challenges and we all have come out of them. Appreciate yourself, celebrate yourself. Last week we had a really successful fundraiser. It was amazing. And I think I spent 2 days after that just being on this high of appreciation for this community, of appreciation for the work that we did, of appreciation for the money that we raised, and celebrate it. Celebrate it. Martha Creek was here a few weeks ago, and she said one of the pillars of healthy churches is that they celebrate together. Celebrate. The third stone is self-acceptance. We talked about this last week, acceptance. Accept yourself where you are in life, wherever you are. That's your starting point. Not to compare yourself to someone else and say, well, look how far along they are. Where are you? Accept you for where you are. Accept yourself, accept your gifts. We all have different gifts to share. There was a little boy out in his backyard with his baseball cap on and had his bat and his ball. And he threw the ball up in the air and he swung really hard and he missed. I'm the greatest batter in the world. And he threw the ball up in the air again and he swung and he missed. I'm the greatest batter in the world, he said. And he threw the ball up in the air and he missed. And he looked at the ball and he said, I'm the greatest pitcher in the world. Accept your gifts, whatever they are. The fourth stone is determination. Determination. That's where we don't give up. Don't give up. The difference between people who accomplish great things in life and those who don't are often because they didn't give up. They kept at it. If we get guidance of something that is ours to do, we are equipped to do it. We are equipped to do it. Don't give up. Be determined. If it's yours to do, you have the skills to complete it. Determination can help you face any challenge. David knew he was part of a divine process. He knew that who he was inside. He knew he was a child of God. He knew he was a spiritual being. And he did it his way. He faced that giant challenge with determination. He didn't let the giant taunt him or deter him from his goal. Eric Butterworth says, if we meet life with boldness and determination, there is nothing that can come to us that we don't have the commensurative powers to meet and overcome. How do you know that? By the very fact that you're here, the very fact that you're breathing, the very fact that you have life. You can know that you have that divine possibility within you to overcome anything. Any challenge. That challenge maybe is there just to help us see beyond the challenge, to help us grow, to help us learn, to help us see that we're stronger than we think. And the fifth stone is faith. All it takes is a little bit of faith and you can move mountains, you can move any obstacle. Believe that it's possible. We often don't believe it's possible. We look at that challenge, we look at that Goliath, we look at that mountain and say, there's no way. But there's a way. There's a way. Believe it's possible. Face your giant challenge with faith. So if Goliath is taunting you with threats and boasts, be like David. Be like David. Take whatever stone is needed for that challenge. Do you need some humility? Do you need to appreciate yourself? Do you need to accept yourself where you are? Do you need a little more determination and a little more keep on keeping on? Do you need a little more faith? A little more believing that it's possible? Don't let that giant overshadow you. You, any of us. Don't let that giant overshadow you. We have what it takes to meet any challenge. You can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. Ann Jolis talks about in the book about how she wanted to jump in this river from the bridge, and she was scared. And she and her daughter had decided after 3 years, she was watching everyone else have fun with it. She was all about what if I get hurt? What if I hurt myself? What if, whatever. What if? Her daughter jumped in, they were going to do it together, and she pulled back. And then everybody was cheering her on. And she did it. And she got done and coming out of the water and said, what fun. So what if we say, instead of what if, what fun? What fun. When we move past that challenge, when we get rid of that Goliath that's standing in front of us, that giant challenge, what fun. What fun. Then we can see with greater clarity. We can't see in the valley, the horizon. This week, there were some images that popped up on New York Times, and this is called The Pillars of Creation. And I saw this picture, and it looked like the hand of God. And then I saw this comparison. You want to bring that up, Bonnie? So it looks like the hand of God, doesn't it? It looks like kind of like a claw or something, but it's called the Pillars of Creation. And so on the left-hand side is the Hubble telescope. This is from 2014. And the last 20 years, they've been developing this John Webb telescope. Cost $10 billion and took 20 years to develop it. And last Christmas, they launched it, and it's 1 million miles away from Earth. And the picture on the right, look at the clarity of that. It's the same image, but the clarity of it that was just taken this week. It's like that when we overcome a challenge. We have a lot more clarity about who we are, about whose we are, about what we're capable of. We have a lot more humility and appreciation and acceptance and determination and faith. This week I felt challenged quite a bit after my couple weeks of celebration. And yesterday, so my normal weekend is work, just work. Saturday, I say no to everything. Most every Saturday, I say no to any invitations that come along. And yesterday, my son-in-law was performing at the Brutal Poodle in Denver. I'd never heard him perform before. He was playing lead guitar and singing. He was in a band, and they just moved to Colorado. It's amazing that he found a band already, and he's performing. And it was a fundraiser for rescue dogs. And so I had told my daughter and him that I wasn't going to go. I got to work. I'm so important. I have to work. And yesterday morning I said, you know what? I'm going. I want to support him. He's important to me. And then last night we had some neighbors that invited us to walk down to this Mexican place from our house for dinner. And I had originally said no, and I said, you know what? I'm saying yes. I had to challenge myself. It was a challenge. Because I thought, what if the talk doesn't come together? Like, there's no guarantees it'll ever come together. Sometimes it doesn't come together till I'm up here. Sometimes it doesn't come together even then. There you are. Not here I am, there you are. There you are. And I can have a life on a Saturday and still be here on Sunday. So, what giant challenges are facing you? What are you seeing as an obstacle to what you want on the other side of that? Because I guarantee you there's more peace, more joy, more love on the other side of that challenge. What stone do you need to knock that challenge down? It's yours to learn. It's yours to decide. We're here to grow. We're here to learn. We weren't brought into this world to live a life of misery. We were brought here to live a life of joy, to live a life of abundance, to live a life of love. But we get to choose whether we want that or not. In my class on Thursday night, one of the women used this poem. It's a partial poem from Meister Eckhart, and I just loved it, and it just seemed like it fit into this talk. So I want you to just close your eyes for a moment while I read this. It's not very long. It's part of a poem called See as God Sees. It is your destiny to see as God sees, to know as God knows, to feel as God feels. How is this possible? How? Because divine love cannot defy its very self. Divine love will be eternally true to its own being, and its being is giving all it can at the perfect moment. And the greatest gift God can give is his own experience. Every object, every creature, every man, woman, and child has a soul, and it is the destiny of all to see as God sees, to know as God knows, to feel as God feels, to be as God is. So this week I invite you to know as God knows and see as God sees. Overcome whatever challenge you are facing and know that peace and love that's just beyond. Namaste. Peace be with you.
Thank you so much, Sue.
So we are going to sing to Shiva. And Shiva is a Hindu god. And maybe you all have heard the phrase Om Namah Shivaya. Has anybody heard that phrase before? So Shiva is known as the great transformer and also as consciousness itself. So the invitation for this song is to really hold in your consciousness that challenge that you would like to transform and that you would like to have greater access to just living in the consciousness and the bliss and the heart that is your true nature. So often my songs are repetitive, and I have them repetitive so that you can sing along. So it's not really about me up here leading, it's more about me up here guiding you all to sing also. So let's learn some of the words. So can you repeat after me? Bom bom,
Bom bom.
hare hare,
Hare Hare.
Jaya Shiva,
Jaya Shiva.
Shankare.
Shankare.
Okay, so I'll do it once and you repeat after me. Bom bom, hare hare, Jaya Shiva, Shankare.
Bom bom. Hare Hare. Jaya Shiva. Shankare.
Awesome, all right. So anytime during the song, tap in with your own voice, your own heart, and sing along. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Namah. Bom bom, hare hare, Jaya Shiva Shankare. 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Namah. Sing along. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Namah. Bom bom, bom hare hare, Jaya Shiva Shankare. Bom bom, 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 hare hare, Jaya Shiva Shankare.
Shiva Bom, Shiva Bom, Shiva Bom. Shiva Bom, Shiva Bom, Shiva Bom, Shiva Bom, Shiva Bom, Shiva Bom, Shiva Bom. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Nama Yeah. Invitation, everybody.
Well, that created quite the energy field in here. Everything, the talk, the music, everything. Thank you. So let's start with our purpose statement for Columbine Unity. Please say it along with me. We commit to increasing our spiritual awareness, diversifying our community, manifesting our highest potential, and positively impacting the world. And if this resonates with you, there are several ways that you can support our community. We are self-supporting. You can give by text. You can give through the website. You can also give today in the sanctuary. There are many ways to do that. If you have any questions, you can check with me afterwards. But let's go ahead and say our offering statement. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. And speaking of grateful, we would love to thank all of our volunteers for That's Amore. So if you were volunteering in any capacity, please raise your hand and let us thank you. We're also very grateful for the weather that we experienced that evening. That was amazing. And we will, next weekend, we'll have our trunk or treat. So if you're not familiar with this, let me just tell you how fun it is. What you can do is decorate the trunk of your car or the hatchback, whatever vehicle you have, and create some sort of magical little experience for children, whether they're small or big. And then you can have, the children will come through with their costumes on, and you can have little treats for them. It doesn't have to always be sugar. Keep that in mind. You can have a little treat for them. And this is so fun. It's so fun to watch the children and to just be part of it. Dress up also if you like. So what you can do with this then is see if you can be the winner, because the YFM, the older youth, are going to judge and see who's the winning trunk. So please sign up if you haven't done that already. And living room conversations, gosh, I can't see the date from here. Living room conversations. November 9th is coming up, and this is an opportunity for, this discussion will happen around the concept of how are we each relating to our own aging, and this is pertinent to every one of us, regardless of our age. And then also at a different level, how does this aging show up in our community as we have a larger group of aging people? So please, if you've already signed up, can you just raise your hand real quick? We can get a sense of who's signed up. Okay, so this is something you can sign up for on the website, and I can help you with it after service if you need help with that. The men's breakfast will be held on November the 19th in Foss Hall. And then the rest of our events are listed in your weekly update, also in your digital bulletin, and then on the screen, which of course you cannot speed read this fast. So take a screenshot or check your bulletin or the weekly update. And who is our prayer chaplain today? Brooke. So, and Gretchen, we have 2 prayer chaplains today. Thank you so much. They'll be here to receive your prayer requests and your celebrations, as Sue was mentioning. We want to celebrate a lot. And if you are kind of new or just looking for conversation today, when you go into Foss Hall, choose a white cup for your beverage, and then people will know, oh, this person wants to engage. They don't want to be off to the side. And now, our peace song.
Let's all stand up and sing together. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Have a beautiful week. We love you.